Hi everyone, welcome to our town hall today. Hey Hamad, hey Sally, hey Carlos, nice to have you here. Oh, from Argentina. That's awesome, nice to have you. Okay, thank you for coming. I'm Santiago, I'm from Argentina, and I'm project manager at Turing. Nice to have you all. Well, let's get started. The purpose of the town hall today is to first welcome you to Turing and also to give you some tools to help you become a successful Turing developer if you choose to do so. At the end of this town hall, we will have a Q&A session, and we're really eager to answer your questions so that we can help you move further in your career growth with Turing. Now, if you have a question that it's more specific to your situation, maybe specific about a tech stack test that you're taking or something, please contact us at support@turing.com and we will be there to help you and we'll get back to you in less than 24 hours. But for the sake of time today, we'll only go through questions that benefit most of the audience here today. Okay, let's get started. Welcome to Turing. If you're really looking for a high quality US job, if you're looking into working for leading edge technologies, then you've come to the right place. Here at Turing, we want to offer you those opportunities. And we were built by engineers coming from Facebook, Uber, Google, and these awesome people that started this company. These founders, most of our VPs, most of our managers, most of our internal team here at Turing, we are software developers that come from foreign countries. And we also want to grow our careers and we want to share these opportunities with everyone. And that's the common goal that motivates all of us to continue working with Turing. And one of our goals for this year is to create 1,000 of these high quality jobs for talented developers like you worldwide. We believe that talent is universal. We can find great software talent everywhere, but opportunity is not. For a long time, this opportunity to have high quality, Silicon Valley type opportunities of jobs, that has been limited to people living in a certain area in the United States or these hubs where you can find workers to work on your projects, but we want to give this opportunity and take this opportunity to everyone. That's the goal that moves us at Turing. We believe that we will revolutionize the way that developers get hired. And if you have any questions, please post them in the Q&A tab at the top right corner, and we will go through those at the end of the session. Also, feel free to go to help.turing.com. Our content team is currently updating the most frequently asked questions there, and that'll be really helpful. And again, if you have any specific questions, please email us at support@turing.com. We'll get back to you in less than 24 hours. Now, I want to emphasize this. We don't offer short-term gigs. We're not a freelancer platform, but we want to have you grow your career in really meaningful ways. We want to have jobs for you that are career defining. So we're here for the long run. We're here to help you build yourself as a developer and build your career, not just a 2 or 3 month contract. Many people ask, so I want to become a Turing developer. What do I need to do? And so basically there are 3 steps in your developer journey. First, and this is where most of you are right now, you need to go through a vetting process. The vetting process includes taking the Turing tests, taking the coding challenge, completing your work experience analysis, and so forth. Once you pass through all those tests, our AI matching algorithm will start suggesting multiple job matches. And we have a team that's dedicated to help you improve your matchability. They will help you finalize your US engineering resume. They will help you prepare for interviews. And this is really exciting because, again, we're not offering you just short-term engagements. We're offering you the whole experience. The whole team is here to help you grow. We are invested in your career growth. And once you get a job, once you get a match, you will start working with one of our partner companies. Again, say no to gigs and yes to careers. We want to help you grow your career here at Turing. If you have any more questions about this process, please send us an email at support@turing.com, and we will get back to you in less than 24 hours. Now, I'm really excited to invite someone to the stage. He's Peter, and he's from Nigeria. Hey, Peter, nice to have you here. One of the interesting things about Peter, the first time you attended a town hall, it was as an attendee, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And now you've come full circle, and you're coming as a Turing developer. Tell us about your experience.
Yeah, so Turing is an awesome place to be and is a good place to work. So I've been developing and I've been advancing in my career since I joined Turing.
How did you find Turing? Maybe through an ad, or how was?
So I found out about Turing around late 2019 through a Facebook advert, and I applied through the Facebook advert and took the Turing test like 3 months after that.
And Peter, how was your experience with taking the Turing tests?
Yeah, so when I took the test, it was the first time I've ever taken such test. So that kind of test is a bit challenging. So
Yeah.
I was not really sure if I'm going to do well, but I just have to take it. And I was surprised to come out and receiving a message from Turing that I actually passed the test. So it was a bit challenging, actually, not really easy as I thought as of then.
Thank you, Peter. Did you use any sort of preparation material?
So I tried to read documentations on the tech stack for those tests I wanted to take. So I tried to familiarize myself with the latest updates in those technologies because I don't want to be taken by surprise. So I tried to update my knowledge on latest changes, latest updates on those new technologies that I want to take the test on Turing websites.
Awesome. And I mean, yeah. Peter, you already had experience with these technologies, but you just wanted to, kind of update your knowledge, like kind of refresh the knowledge, right?
Yes, so that's what I was trying to say, like trying to update my knowledge on the latest changes and updates in the technologies so that I won't be taken by surprise while doing the test.
That's a great advice. And Peter, after you started working remotely for Turing, what are some of the advantages, or what are some of the things that you enjoy about remote work?
Okay, so to me, there are lots of advantages in remote work. For example, I live in Lagos, Nigeria, and transporting to work is really a big issue here. So most times you get stuck in traffic jam. So without the traffic now, I can sit down comfortably in my house and work. Then apart from transport, I choose my own time of work. I don't need to wake up early in the morning. So one of the advantages, I can always choose my time of work. So the working time is flexible. Then another thing is the extra time that I spend in traffic most of the days, I always use that. I use that to improve on my knowledge, update my knowledge, then spend time with my friends and families and get along with people around me. Lastly, I will also like to talk about one of the advantages that have to do with meeting people all over the world. It gave me an opportunity to meet with bright minds out there. I was able to work with people from different parts of the world, and I'm able to learn and share knowledge with them. So it's a very great advantage to me.
Awesome. Thank you, Peter. Just out of curiosity, but your coworkers, where do they come from?
Okay, so some of my coworkers, I have people from Brazil, I have from China, then I think I also have some from Argentina, so USA, so they are just everywhere, everywhere.
That's awesome. Thank you, Peter. Before wrapping up with the interview, is there any other advice that you'd like to give to the audience today?
Okay, so I just have one advice to give to the audience. So while preparing for Turing test, I believe since most of the tests and the technologies we are going to take the test on, they are most of the technologies we use for work every day. So there's always this kind of temptation to just take the test like, I already know this, I can do this. But I think we should just take some time aside to update our knowledge. Sometimes there may be new updates in some of those technology. We should try to update our knowledge, make sure we are up to date before taking the test.
Awesome. And so just to recap, maybe before taking the SQL test, kind of go through the documentation for, I don't know, 30 minutes, get the confidence needed, and go take the test. Am I right, Peter?
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Thank you, Peter. Peter,
Yeah.
please stand by, because now we will move on to the Q&A session. And I can see lots of questions here. Okay, so let's start with the first one coming from Satar. Awesome, thank you. So is it possible to relocate US and work on site after some time? Thanks for the question, Satar. So the short answer is we don't offer that at Turing. Here at Turing, we encourage people to work with these companies, but not necessarily go and relocate to the US and work there. I hope that answers your question, Satar. So maybe working with people remotely, people that are from the US, that will help you and guide you if that's your dream and you want to do that. Thank you for the question. Let's move to the next one. This one is from Ashwini. Thanks for the question. What if we fail the test in first attempt? Peter, do you want to take on this one?
Yes. So if you fail the test the first time, you can always come back, I think after 3 months, to retake the test. So you can take the test multiple times. So when you fail first time, I think I can always advise you to go back, study more, then come back to take the test.
Awesome. Thank you, Peter. So Ashwini, 3 months after you fail the test, you'll be able to retake it. Just kind of to recap. So a question from Philip. How long has Turing been around? Perhaps a little history about the company would be great. Example, who are the founders? What inspired them to start this business? Why this business model, etc., etc. Great question, Philip. And this is one I'm really happy to answer. So founders, two founders. They are great engineers. They come from India, and they met at Stanford University. They are called Vijay Krishna and Jonathan Siddharth. And they are really visionaries in the field of AI technology. Before founding Turing, they founded another AI company that was successfully acquired. And kind of what inspired them to start this business is the fact that, again, talent is universal. You can find this talent everywhere. In India, their home country, or in Argentina, or Philip, where you're from. We have talent everywhere, but opportunity is not. And that's one side of the story. The other side of the story, and kind of going to the next question, explaining the business model. Companies in Silicon Valley want to grow, they want to expand, they want to scale, but they don't have the engineers. The city is running short of software talent. And that's why they created this company, so that they can bring this amazing Silicon Valley type job opportunities to everyone around the world. Hope that answers the question, Philip. So next question from Soran. How does finding a job with Turing work for college students? Can we get a job while in college, or can we not? Thanks for the question, Soren. So in order to be a Turing engineer, we require that you have at least 3 years of experience as a full-time software developer. And so chances are your matchability for the jobs that we're offering will be low. We still offer some junior level jobs, but in general, most of the jobs, most of the opportunities that we offer are for software developers that have already graduated and have already completed their certifications and have 3 or more years of experience in the industry. Peter, is there anything else you'd like to add here? Maybe some advice on how to continue preparing? Because Soren, in the future, we want to have you here because we're looking for talent. But Peter, some advice for Soren?
Okay, so I have one advice. So while preparing to join Turing, you can always work on projects and try to update your knowledge on latest technologies. So by the time you are done with your college, so it will be much more easier to gain the necessary experience to join Turing by then.
Peter, as a follow-up question, and kind of trying to help Soren and other developers in this situation, is there any online platform or online free platform that you recommend for preparing for these kind of opportunities in the meantime?
I think there was one online platform I used then while preparing. That was, I think, Free Code Camp. So Free Code Camp have a lot of educational materials, and while enrolled in Free Code Camp, you can work on live projects, build projects in industry standard. So if you work on that platform, it will enable you to gain the necessary knowledge of the technologies and how things goes in software development.
Thank you, Peter. And thank you, Soren, for the question, and thank you for attending. Okay, we have another question from Philip. Okay, thanks for the questions, Philip. What is the job setup like? Example, will you be an employee of Turing or Turing's client? Example, Facebook, Snap, or whomever. Great question, Philip. So you will technically be a Turing employee, but you will be working for one of our partner companies. Of course, we also offer our developers to work for Turing in the internal team. And if that's the case, you'll be working in really interesting projects. We're growing aggressively. And so lots of projects here, lots of very talented people to meet here. So yeah, it can be either working for one of our partner companies. Chances are you will work for one of our partner companies, or maybe you'll get an offer to work for our internal team. Thanks, Philip. So do you have an age range for developers? Not really. I heard of a kid that graduated from university at age 12. I guess he must be talented. I mean, of course, you need to be more than 18 because of the legal framework, right? But I mean, as long as you have the experience, as long as you have the talent, we want to have you here. Thanks, Herman. Okay, question from Avik. How is the interview process? How many technical rounds and behavioral rounds are there? Some suggestions regarding interview preparation will be helpful. Thanks for this question, Avik. After you pass your coding challenge, you will be reached out by our team to have what we call an entry call. And basically, we will get in contact with you and help you get ready, ask you some questions about compensation. We will prompt you to upgrade your resume. And so that's the interview that we will have with you. And then if you get matched with a job, there are two possibilities. And I would say these are 50-50 based on our current set of customers. So chances are you will receive a job match and you'll be able to start working with the company right away. I mean, they will want to have a short interview so that they can get to know you and kind of see if you're a good fit with the team, kind of a light interview. But they trust Turing enough to have you start working right away without having the usual 5, 6, 7 step interview process that you see outside of Turing. Now, there are some chances that some of our partner companies will want to do a more technical interview. If that's the case, we are here to help you prepare for that. We know that, I mean, for me, for example, even if you're fluent in English, having an interview in English, being a foreign developer, it's kind of daunting, And so that's why we have a team, a developer success team, we call it, that will help you get ready if that's the case. Hope that answers your question, Avik. Okay, so question from Sanem. Hi, does Turing offer non-developer roles such as project management to experienced IT professionals who are not engineer? Great question. Thank you, Sanem. So we offer some positions for project managers and product managers, and being an engineer is not a requirement. Maybe you come from another career path, but you need to have experience in the software industry. And this will be project manager or product manager positions in the software industry. Thank you for the question, Sanim. Okay, Saja, any benefit others than salary we will get from Turing? Peter, do you want to take on this one? I mean, salary is great, but other advantages.
Okay, so apart from salaries, so I think one of the benefits working with Turing is fun. So fun in the sense that you, apart from salaries, you have almost every other benefit, or let me say some of the benefits. You can also get an office job, like you can have a paid time off as a developer. So that is one of the benefits. Then other benefits, like there's always a kind of online meetup where you get to know others from different parts of the world. We always have a coffee time. We have other breakfast hour, lunch hour, where we do stuff like fun. We have game sessions and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of benefits apart from salaries.
Thank you, Peter. Other benefit that I think this is the greatest benefit from working with Turing. Once you join our exclusive community of Silicon Valley caliber software engineers, software developers, you may never need to apply to a job again. You may never need to apply to a job again. You know, other freelancer platforms, they offer you maybe a short contract for 2-3 months or something. But once you become a developer with us, our developer success team will make sure that before your current engagement ends, you will be matched to a next engagement. So I think this is the greatest single benefit from working with Turing. We are invested on making your career grow. Okay, thank you, Staja. So, question from Will: how much do we have to pay Turing, and for how long? You don't have to pay to Turing. You don't have to pay anything. So you will be working with us. So yeah, everything, you know, all the vetting process, all the coaching, all the advice, all the AI recommendations, etc. Those are for free. And this is the value that we're bringing to the world. Peter, would you like to add something here?
Okay, so just like Santiago said, you don't have to pay anything to Turing. So rather you work for Turing and Turing pay you, not you paying, not reverse.
Thanks, Peter. Awesome. So, question from Sherzad: do we have to have formal engineering education? Peter, do you want to take on this one? Thanks for the question, Sherzad.
Okay, so I think having engineering education is not really compulsory. What you need is the knowledge and the experience. So I believe someone like me, I don't have the engineering education. So, but I try to pursue the knowledge, gain the necessary experience, and I'm able to learn myself the job. So you don't need, and it's not compulsory, but if you have it, it will really help.
Thanks, Peter. Let me add on to that. Let me take a step back and talking about the purpose of Turing. Again, we want to find great talent. So if you have this great talent, the fact that you have the skills and the experience and the talent, that weights way more than where you studied or where you got that knowledge. Thanks for the question. So we have a question from Noah. So what happens if I fail on the Turing test? Again, you can retake it after 3 months. Question from Timitako. Who do I answer to when I get a job, Turing or the company I work for? So at Turing, we will be here to support you. We will be here to help you transition into this engagement with one of our partner companies. We have events for our developers that are currently working with our partner companies, but that's about it. Most of the time, you'll be talking with your manager at the company you're working at. We'll always be here to support you, but yeah, you will be answering to your manager at the company you're working at. At Turing, we're invested in your career growth. So we have set up several ways for your managers to give you feedback. We are launching a new calibration system that's completely automated and that helps you get feedback from your coworkers. So again, we'll be here to ensure that your career is growing and that you're having a great engagement with the company you're working at. But most of the talk would be between you and your coworkers and your managers at the US partner company you'll be working at. Hope that answers your question. Okay, Andreas, what are the work hours? Are the hours flexible? Peter, Would you like to take on this one?
Yes, so the work hours are flexible. You can choose your own time of work, so it's flexible.
Great. Just as an example, I'm here in Argentina, and I may start working at 10 a.m. and finish at 6, and that's okay. But some days I might start working, I don't know, at 4 p.m. and end up later at night. So yeah, hours are flexible. You can talk with your manager and figure that out. What we ask though is at least 4 hours, as a general rule, you should be able to have at least a 4 hour overlap with the company time zone. That's important because of, you'll have meetings, you have to communicate with your coworkers. So it's important to have a minimum time where you have that overlap. But besides that, it's really flexible. Thank you for the question, Andreas. Okay, so we have a question from Sarandeep. Does Turing charge if a dev lands a job? No, we don't. We pay you in full, and yeah. Peter, would you like to add something here?
So the answer is no. Turing does not charge. So Turing pay you in full agreed hourly rate or monthly salary. So Turing doesn't charge you anything.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Sandeep, for the question. Question from Marek. Hi, where do I pay taxes when working for Turing? So that really depends on your country. I have a friend here working at Turing, a developer friend, and he's from Brazil. And so in order to get everything ready, he had to work with an accountant to make sure he was paying the taxes, abiding by the law of his country. It really depends on your country. Yeah, of course you will not pay U.S. taxes, but you will be subject to your home country's laws. So, question from Fernando, and Fernando, you're from Argentina. Thanks for coming today. Can I receive my pay in crypto? Yes, you can. So, we are partnered with a payroll system. We will pay your salary in full over that payroll system, and they offer lots of options for withdrawing that money. So you can withdraw that in crypto, you can do a bank transfer, you can use PayPal as you wish. And I mean, yeah, that's the short answer. Thanks, Fernando. Okay, let's move on to Tony's question. Is it possible to work in Asia normal time zone? Yes, you can. Let me see. It really depends, Tony. It really depends on the partner company that you're working with. Some of them are really strict in the 4 hour overlap requirement. Okay, so if you're in Asia, let's say you're in Korea, you will have like an 8 hour difference with the Bay Area, with Silicon Valley, and so kind of hard to schedule, those 4 hour overlap. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. Peter, have you had any trouble adjusting your time zone in Nigeria with LA?
Yes, but not really, not a serious one, because the time overlap, the 4 hours overlap still fall within the time that I'm still awake here in Nigeria. When I first started, it was a kind of issue, but I was able to adjust to it.
Awesome. Thank you, Peter. Thank you for coming, everyone. We will answer one more question, and then we will need to wrap up with the town hall. Thank you all for all the questions in the Q&A. And please reach out to us at support@turing.com so we can answer the rest of your questions. Our team will get back to you in less than 24 hours. So let's finish with this question by Camilo. Thank you, Camilo, for the question. Which are the most wanted technologies? So right now, the most in-demand technologies are based on React technologies, based on Node.js, Python, Python Django. We have lots of jobs for that. We are also hiring for mobile, like iOS, Android. Yeah, those are the most in-demand technologies in the industry right now. Okay. Peter, thank you for coming today. It was super nice to have you. And again, I wanted to finish by saying this is possible. Like, this is not a dream. This is possible. And we want you to work with these incredible companies who are here to help you. Peter, I mean, you were part of the audience not so long ago, and now you're on this side of the stage sharing your experience. And this can happen with all of you if you can go through the vetting process. We're here to help you out and give you the opportunities that you deserve. Thank you so much for coming.